No, I don't. Damn it. Hello and welcome to this. I've forgotten the episode number. Episode 61 of SlimDevOps Live, I think it is. Hopefully you can hear us and our voices at least sound fine. So,
hello.
hello. So hopefully here is Peter and Stephen. Hello, both of you. How are you?
Hello. Jingle bells, jingle bells,
I was
jingle
gonna say,
away.
Peter can start singing now, and we can chat.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear me sing. The number one rule.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know why that audio was a bit crumpled at the beginning, but never mind. We'll just put that behind us.
There's supposed to be some lo-fi Christmas beats.
There were supposed to be lo-fi Christmas beats. Apparently, I was playing white noise, so that's a bit unfortunate. Not so. I haven't spoken to either of you for a little while. So, what's new with you? What have you been up to, Stephen?
Oh, I actually picked up a few personal projects last week. I'm helping my friend. I have a few friends like in the audio world, and they're tasking me with training some like generative jazz music models. Because why not? So I'm doing some fun with that. And I have
that's like the new I'm good at computers. It's like no longer like, can you help me like debug my phone or like show me how my computer works? It's like, can you just like write a symphony in the name of Beethoven for me through some generative AI?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I have no musical talent myself, so I'm trusting everything they say about what is important about the data. Yeah.
Very good.
Nice.
Well, point your audio experts in my direction. Clearly, I need assistance. And Pete, what's new with you, other than the very fetching hat, of course?
Yeah. I know. There's like something up with my autofocus right now, so everything's a little fuzzy around here. Not just my hat, but yeah, no, things are good. I let's see what I've been up to. Last Friday, I joined the Front End Horse Holiday Snowtacular live stream, which was just excellent. Like, learned a lot of like really interesting things that I want to play with on stream here, like TensorFlow JS. Saw a demo of that. I've never seen that before. That is wicked cool. That's like AI, but for something that you can use in a JavaScript module, like basically train models right in your browser. So that was really one of the cool things. Uh, Cassie, who does a lot of the front end development, she did something on Astro, which I've been kind of geeking out to as well with my personal blog. So I've been getting back into Astro and doing some Astro dev. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to. We were let's see, some of us were out at DevOps Days Tel Aviv. Our colleague Aisha was speaking out there. So I didn't get to go, unfortunately, but a lot of people out in Tel Aviv kind of repping with some of the folks in Israel, and Sharon Zitzman, who runs that, is one of our consultants. So awesome to work with her. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Fantastic.
Martin, what's been new with you? What have you been up to?
Well, been surviving, and I've also decided to resurrect my personal blog, which
Nice.
I looked and saw I hadn't actually written anything on since Christmas of 2017. So I'm working with Hugo in order to
Nice.
reboot that. So that's my little sort of between the end of Christmas and New Year project. I'm going to spend a few days tinkering with that, and my daughter has been giving me artistic guidance on how I should be doing things, because she's doing a graphic design module at school at the moment. So she's now the resident expert in all things design in the house. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And I suppose we should also take a moment to welcome back, well, first of all, our colleagues. So Primoz, who goes by Big Pod in chat, and Lindsay, who's here in chat as well. And then some of the regulars from the community. So we've got Eric, who goes by Our Podcast. Hello, welcome back. Diddle Danny. Hello, Danny. Danny's one of our judges, so we're going to be referring to Danny's work. And Eric as well was one of our judges. And Yannick. Hello, welcome back, Yannick. And then also welcome for the first time to Free to Ride 19. Hello, welcome to the stream. So, we're
one
here.
Of our new community members.
Yes, indeed. Yes, welcome.
Discord, so.
And Eric was also pointing out he was in a jazz band, and he's delighted to hear that his trumpet sounds were never used to train a machine learning model. Right, well, with that, we are here today because on the December the 5th, the deadline expired for the Slimplicity Hackathon. And between then and last Thursday, our esteemed panel of judges have been looking over the projects that were submitted, and we finished our deliberations on Thursday last week, and we have got the pleasure of announcing those winners today. But before we do that, I think it's probably important that we actually sort of dig into what on earth was this Slimplicity Hackathon in the first place. So Stephen, you had a big hand in putting together a lot of the structure of this, so I'll put the link in the chat so anyone can go and take a look at the website, because I don't think this is going to reveal any winners just yet. We're going to be doing that for ourselves. So Stephen, what was it all about?
Yeah, so the idea was, you take some web app or microservice or really any kind of application that you're interested in or want to create, and then put it through the containerization and hardening process. We were hoping to see a use of a lot of different tooling to ready those containers. We were happy to see when people use Slim.AI tools, and we got a lot of good projects and got a lot of good feedback, and I think learned a lot about the process from these submissions.
Indeed. So yeah, some of the goals were to help introduce a new group of developers and students to delivering their apps with containers, and ideally following like container best practice and looking at how better to secure their applications using the Slim platform. And you were just saying there about some lessons learned. In fact, before we get to the lessons learned, so we have some recommendations, and also we should point out that this is not just for fun, although it was a lot of fun. The winners and the runners up here, and the most creative entries stand to win sort of a financial reward at this, so I'm sure they'll be following along with interest. But we should just take a moment to say thank you to our judges. So Danny, who's here with us, and Eric, who's here with us, thank you very much. And also thank you to Hayden Barnes and Monica, Aans Madden and Simon Butcher and George Castro. It was fascinating having our little round table last week and hearing how they'd looked at all of these different projects and their own different take. They've all got different expert knowledge. So one of them, it turns out, was one of the projects was very much aligned with what one of our judges does as a day job. So they were able to offer some unique insight into the sort of the validity of what had been done. So it was fantastic, you know, having a group of people from multi-disciplines, and it turns out having a couple of people that really know AI ML was kind of critical to really evaluating these projects well. So thank you very much to all of our judges. So we did learn some things along the way here, or rather we probably learned some things that some of the entrants would benefit from knowing, like the next time they want to enter an event like this. So Stephen, can you sort of introduce like the first thing that we noticed as one of the sort of the key learnings for people submitting projects to hackathons might benefit from in the future?
Yeah, well, an easy one, kind of low-hanging fruit, is making sure all of your artifacts are public and visible to the judges. So
Yeah.
just including that link in the submission form isn't going to do any good if that's like linking to something that's private on your account.
Yeah.
Some submissions probably could have benefited from checking that first.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think we're going to get on to sort of the impact of just not having all of the details lined up in the way that your project was presented. So yeah, there were some projects where almost everything was invisible, so they didn't do so well, and there were some that just had some particular elements of their project that weren't readily available. And what else? I mean, what else was a sort of a key factor for sort of the judges' deliberations?
Yeah, well, I'd say like that last little bit of polish, I think goes a long way. Having visuals, being able to talk about like what you did and help the judges see it through your demonstrations, screenshots, your readmes, really did, I think, go a long way to helping us understand these projects and their merits.
Yeah, it was interesting. All of the judges had a different take on the nature of the project presentation that was important to them. We're going to see, I think, all of our runners and riders that are going to be talked about today all had video presentations, I think. And it turns out that was very important to a number of the judges. And it was also very important in just assessing at a surface level what the project was about. So that was an interesting learning. But also, in some cases, it was not the level of detail that the project had gone to in their written summary. of what the project was about, but some of the judges loved one of the projects had a bit of an irreverent tone, and they kind of liked this little bit of humor and wit that had been introduced into, you know, the project write-up. So there's lots of different ways you can capture the judges' attention and make them pay just a little bit more attention to your project as opposed to some of the others.
Well, now I'm excited to see what we came up with. I'm very curious. I've seen some of the submissions, and I was impressed by some of the architecture diagrams that people had drawn. And, you know, I looked at some of them and said, oh my gosh, that's stuff that we should have on the Slim.AI website. That's really brilliant. So
Yeah,
I certainly learned quite a bit. And hopefully the teams that were participating in it learned a little bit about what we're trying to do at Slim as well. So
yes, that definitely came through, actually. So one of the things that I saw in a number of the projects was in their written summaries and in some of the videos, their commentary on using the Slim.AI platform, and in quite glowing terms, actually. I think those people that really got invested in that were genuinely surprised at just what could be achieved with it, and were like, well, this is a brand new thing I'm going to use all the time now. This is just amazing. So it started with people being really surprised at how small their containers came out the other side, but then seeing what the security benefit of doing that was. And I think a lot of them commented on the vulnerability analysis piece in particular. I think they all included screenshots in. I don't know if we're going to see all of these in the videos, but certainly in their write-ups, the screenshots of the vulnerability analysis screens in the platform surfaced an awful lot.
Yeah. I think that kind of came up in the stream that Big Pod and I did. And I know a couple of people kind of ran into, and so just wanted to take a moment to thank some of the people who maybe didn't submit, but still provided product feedback and had questions for us and stuff like that. I know Oak in the community couldn't quite get his across the finish line at the last minute, but, you know, wound up with something like a 7 or 8 gigabyte container that was throwing some system errors for us, and that you know, led our team to be able to make some improvements in the platform and just found some use cases for us. So I know it was valuable on the Slim.AI side as well, in addition to being valuable for the participants. So.
Yeah. I'd just like to take a moment to welcome Monica. Hello, Monica. Welcome. Monica was one of our judges I mentioned earlier. And I think similarly, talking about like the vulnerability analysis, we're not going to name any names, but some of our judges dug into the internals of the containers in quite some detail, and what we discovered is that there were some of the projects that were submitted that had left like keys for services and platforms that they were using inside their containers, which is obviously a bit of a no-no. Not just a bit of a no-no, it's something you should never do, and does happen, you know, for real in real life. And I think a couple of our judges said, I've definitely made that mistake before now myself. So what I think we have learned from that is there's a piece there where if we run one of these again in the future, we can surface that capability of checking your containers for exposed keys and making sure you don't publish something with exposed keys as kind of a requirement of entry. And if you do expose your keys, comes with some sort of penalty point deduction in your, you know, security score for the project. So it's an opportunity for us to write and present some content on. I think one of the judges suggested, I think it was George Castro suggested, you know, having a bit of content around using HashiCorp Vault, you know, to help people do the right thing. And that's a good bit of feedback for us. I also see that I need to deal with something, or maybe, yes, I don't know how to do that from here. How bothersome. Okay, whilst I deal with that. So, shall we start by getting into some of the... Well, before we get into the winners, should we mention like a project that almost made the top 3 but didn't quite make the top 3? So that project was this one here called IP Hunter. And they were very, very close to breaking into like the top 3 spot. But as you can see, we were just talking here about some assets not being visible to the judges. And so their video presentation is private as opposed to unlisted. So we couldn't see that. And whilst there was a lot to like about this, there were just a few details in like their documentation and the write-up that just pushed them outside the top 3. But overall, the judges really loved this project, and they have a live demo. I will put the corrected link for that. Oops, in the chat, because this was one of the other little things. There was a URL mapping issue, so I'll put the correct one so you can have a play with that. But there was a little bit of detail lacking in the documentation, but overall we really enjoyed that project. I think, was this one of the ones that you'd highlighted, Stephen?
Yeah, it was one of the ones I called out to the judges, among the other ones that we're gonna see. The judges did get a look at all of them, but this is one that I thought was worth spending some extra time on. I like what they did with the security assessment. We saw this in a few other projects, but getting to see the screenshots from the platform and seeing the actual like numbers and improvements and seeing them write about it and their thoughts was super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a nice side-by-side comparison as well. The size versus the in the original versus the hardened, 90% reduction and almost every single vulnerability but one left over, which is in a way sometimes more gratifying than getting them all, so.
Yeah. But the thing about that, of course, is that when you think about this capability for a team of developers, if you go from a world where you've got 11 vulnerabilities that you need to resolve, and which ones do you fix first, but then you go through the hardening process and there's one vulnerability, well, it makes your priority list pretty straight up and down as to where you're going to focus your effort to try and winkle that last issue out of your container. So yeah, overall we thought this was great. So congratulations to this team. You definitely caught the attention of the judges, but just lacked a little bit of polish to break into the top 3. But congratulations, and maybe we think this tool has got real potential, so hopefully it will see some continued development, and if it does, feel free to share your progress with us in our Discord. We would love to see this worked on in the future.
Yeah, I was gonna call out sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just because the hackathon's over doesn't mean these projects have to be. We have our community Discord, and I'm sure that if any participants want to take their projects and move them forward, that they could find help or more team members in our community Discord.
Yeah. And yeah, to this team, like, please reach out to us on the Discord. Like Steven said, we're always looking for content ideas, and there's other opportunities to work with us. So just because this was a runner-up one, we'll make sure we get some good Slim.AI swag into your hands, and two, maybe there's an opportunity to showcase some of this work down the line in another way. So yeah, please stay in touch. And this looks like a really cool project, and great job with it. So.
Yeah, well done. So next up is, so we've got 3 winners. We have a runner-up, the overall winner, and then we have a prize for the most creative project. So we're going to reveal the runner-up, then we're going to look at the overall winner, and then we're going to look at what the judges felt was the most creative entry. So without further ado, here we go. Our runner-up is, oh, I'm in the wrong window, is Open Payment Host is our winner. So I thought what we could do is maybe play this video. If we just sit silently for a couple of minutes, we can play this video in and have the developer tell us all about their project. So I'm just going to hit play and we'll be quiet for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, hang on a minute. Why is that not playing out? Oh, bother. Technical fail. Oh.
Is your screen share just visual, not audio?
Can you get a desktop audio stream up lickety quick?
Yes, I can. He
Jingle
says.
bell.
So,
the musical interlude. Let's see. All right, chat. Favorite holiday movie? Go. My favorite holiday movie is The Muppet Christmas Carol. I watch it every year. I watched it with my 7-month-old son just on Sunday. I think my favorite part about it is Rizzo the Rat, who I find hysterical, and the fact that it is Charles Dickens. So, all right. Steven,
I'm ready to go. Here we go.
This is Abhishek Muthan.
Oh, geez.
I'm an indie.
All right. And our
If I
podcast,
want to
Eric,
sell
says
an
it's
ebook,
a
a newsletter subscription.
Great for it.
Okay, we're going to have to be quiet for a moment now whilst Abhishek introduces his project.
Or any other digital items, I have to rely upon platforms where I have no control over my sales, my content, and I have to pay multiple commissions for each transaction. I am planning to change that with Open Payment Host. Open Payment Host is a self-hosted, minimalist payments host where we can sell what we want without paying commission. All elements of OPH are configurable. The product blog posts are displayed as cards on the homepage. We can add product with hashtags. Summary is displayed beneath the cards along with hashtags. We can set the featured image for the product, which is displayed on the top of the posts, in homepage and in social media. Open Payment Host comes with a "what you see is what you get" editor for creating beautiful posts. It comes with a wide range of formatting tools. We can add the download URL for the file we want to sell. It will be automatically delivered after successful payment. We can add the MailChimp audience ID to add the subscribers to a MailChimp list for sending newsletters. Multi-currency pricing allows us to have parity pricing and thereby increasing the sales conversion. The product posts are rendered along with image and subscription button. The subscription button automatically displays the price according to the customer's location, whether it's one time or recurring. We can set the homepage priority to arrange the cards. Customers can pay for our digital item without logging in for increased conversion. After payment, the asset is delivered automatically. This is a quick rundown of the Open Payment Host code. Server.go is the entry point for the application. The application uses MVC pattern. The database I'm using is SQLite 3. Again, for the portability reasons, this entire application is containerized. You can see the Docker file. In the Docker file, I'm using an unprivileged user after Slim.AI showed me that I'm using a root user. In the samples folder, we can find another Docker Compose and an installation script. This is useful to install the application. Since this is a payments application, security is paramount. So I am using Slim.AI to harden the Docker container of Open Payment Host. Slim.AI automatically pulls the OPH image from the Docker Hub after connecting to it. I added the image to the collection for easy access. It offers different tools like File Explorer. The overview provides basic information. I use this to change the user from root to an unprivileged user. We can see our Docker file here. Vulnerabilities section shows if our image has any known vulnerabilities. It has multiple scanners for redundancy. We can use the harden feature to slim our container image and reduce the attack surfaces. Our image is run inside Slim.AI's cloud environment. We can choose the destination for our Slimmed image to be either Docker Hub or Slim.AI's cloud. I chose server application for open payment host. I selected the home directory to include in order to not delete any project files during the slimming process. I uploaded the Docker file after removing the volumes to run the application in Slim.AI cloud environment. I verified the environment variables and ports. The slimming process takes a minute. The slimmed image is 91% smaller than the source, and after completion we can download the slimmed image for testing. There are various tools to explore the slimmed image. I have a collection. I have added both the source image and the slimmed image for easy access.
So that's
To the regifter,
whoops.
if the thought
Okay,
was to
stop,
introduce her to the
stop,
joys
stop,
of
stop,
office
stop,
life.
Stop. So that's the presentation that we were given as our starting point, and I really liked this particular project, I have to say. Stephen, what were your thoughts on this one? Oh, hang on a minute, someone's muted.
You're right. That I did that. I muted myself during the video. Yeah, well, you're right. When I saw this one, I thought it would be right up your alley, and I know this was super close with the first place winner. It was not a unanimous decision, especially considering like this was definitely the most impressive like solo project we got.
Yes, that's worth pointing out that this was a solo entry, and several of the others were smaller or larger teams. I liked this project for a number of reasons. First of all, I thought it was actually quite a novel idea in that, it's creating a payment processing sort of self-hosted capability. I've bought like training courses for game engines because this is like a back of my mind little project to learn some game engines, because one day never I might write a game. And they all have lots of content put together, and they sell these courses, and they all go through some third party. So they're losing, part of their revenue through all of these additional, middlemen. So I really liked this because I could think of numerous projects and people that would benefit from having something like this in order to sort of increase their cut of the work that they are putting out there. And I also really liked that in the video and in the write-up here, Abhishek points out like where he's obviously paid attention to some of the guides and tutorials we've published about what best practice is, and has taken that on board and made improvements as a result. So yeah, I was really impressed with this one. I liked it, and it was super close.
Yeah, just from watching the demo, you can really tell that he spent the time to understand the Slim platform and the different features like collections and hardening and connecting private registries and all of that kind of stuff. And really just, it was a really nice, clean presentation of kind of using Slim. So yeah, great job. And
yeah, I definitely agree, Martin, that it definitely has its use case. I know all kinds of like different college students that are like becoming independent creators that are trying to sell, whether they're like music, their indie games, or their like clothes that could all benefit from like self-hosting payments. So I definitely agree on that.
So I would also just like to say hello to Lico3 Lobo, who's joined us in the chat, who is one of the team members behind IP Hunter, who unfortunately, but due to the way we've got our moderation settings set up, wasn't able to post the link to their presentation, which is now public. Please post that in our Discord though. I would love to go back and take a look at that. And also it wasn't your project that we spotted the API keys in, because we did understand the nature of what your project was doing. So it wasn't you we were referring to when we mentioned projects that had left API keys laying around. So you're in the clear. But thank you for stopping by, and thank you for your entry. We really enjoyed taking a look at that one. The judges spent some time having a play with that. So, shall we move on to the overall winning entry?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Our overall winning entry is
Drum roll.
Bayolix. And what we're going to do is what I just did in the other one. I'm going to just bring up the video, and I'll put that in the other browser where apparently the audio is working today. I should have foreseen this wasn't going to work based on the issues we had ahead of time. So we'll run this video.
Hello,
here.
everyone. We introduce you Bayolix, a hybrid application used for identifying side effects of prescribed drugs. Drugs can produce intended therapeutic effects, however, they may also cause side effects at the same time. An undetected side effect for an approved drug is harmful. What if we could anticipate the adverse side effects based on the unlabeled medical data and prescriptions? On uploading the prescription as document/image, the patient will be able to get the possible adverse side effects of each particular drug in the prescription. If a new medication needs to be prescribed, the doctor can do so based on the anticipated side effects. The adverse effects dataset provided by Food and Drug Administration was used to train the model. We shortlisted the top 25 drugs based on number of drug samples present in the dataset. Similarly, the 21 most occurring symptoms was chosen from the data. We eliminated other symptoms which are not commonly observed due to drug intake. With the extracted features, we provide the data to our K-nearest neighbors classifier, which uses proximity to make classifications by grouping the individual data points. The trained model achieved an accuracy of 94.3% with a recall score of 70.1%. To interact with hybrid clients such as mobile as well as browsers, we decided to create an API which helps to communicate with hybrid platforms. Fast API was chosen to make HTTP requests. The endpoint receives prescription file as input, which is later processed by set of instructions. The given prescription image is processed by AWS Textract, which extracts all textual information in the prescription. The extracted textual information is processed by AWS Comprehend Medical Service, where it can extract medical information from unstructured medical text and also identifies relationships among extracted health information. By analyzing the predicted results, a medical professional can predict the adverse reactions of the drug before prescribing the drug to a particular individual. We have used Slim.AI container optimization technique to harden our containerized app in order to improve the security aspects and optimize the storage. It makes our application readily available for production and deployment. We have also built an interactive mobile app for our product using Flutter. So, what's next for Bayolix? We can include personalized feedback reports for each person based on past drug usage. And further, it can be made to incorporate regional languages. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
There we go. I managed to interrupt it. There we go. So, first of all, congratulations to Bayolix on an excellent project, well presented. So, there was a lot to unpack with this one as to why it sort of pipped the other projects out to the top spot. Here are the developers behind this project, so congratulations to all of you. Stephen, can you sort of touch on some of the things that we spotted about this project that really sort of set it apart?
Yeah, well, I mean, immediately when you look at this project, you see it has like lots of bells and whistles. They had a ton of visualizations, I think more than any other project. And they really went above and beyond in some of the areas that, they had a lot of features that you'd often see missing from something that make in a hackathon. Like their AWS setup was using like HIPAA compliant configurations, which we were impressed by.
Yeah, so Eric, who joins us in, goes by our podcast in the chat here. Eric has some experience of working with pharma and medical data, and spotted that not only were they using the right data sources, but they were also adhering to all of the sort of legislation and regulation in terms of how they were deploying and utilizing the containers. So there was real attention to detail in the way that had been implemented. And then we had the benefit also with Hayden Barnes and Simon Butcher, who've got good experience of working with AI ML, and they were able to sort of validate the credentials of the way the project had been architected. So it was very impressive. You took a look at this one.
Yeah,
earlier,
I think
didn't
just
you,
there.
Pete?
Yeah. Well, one, I just really thought that the video was very well done. Just the production of the video was really, really good. I mean, it feels like something that would come out of, biotech company here in the Boston area or something like that. So kudos to them on that. And then I was just really impressed by these architecture diagrams that they put in here. It's really crisp. It's really clean. You understand exactly like how the data is flowing, how they've built the different services. And then, they kind of get into this part down here where they get into, the slimming and the hardening of the image. And it's just very well explained. And so, I just think this is great content, and they really, really understood what we're trying to do here at Slim and what the slimming process looks like. And super cool to see DigitalOcean implemented. I haven't seen that in very many projects. So that's super cool. And just really, really well done. Really crisp.
Yes, we were all very impressed by this project, and there's a lot to like here and a lot to learn from it as well. So yes, an excellent project and novel as well. We thought that what this was striving to achieve was interesting in its own right, and we, as you can see, the documentation was clear and concise, and there's even a demo app running in AWS here. They don't have a domain name behind it. That's fine. We weren't asking anyone to go that far, but you can actually go and play with this as well, or at least you could. I'm not going to open it up now because I don't want to get into that. But yes, so congratulations to this team. Fantastic work. Well done. We will be in touch. So we'll talk a little bit about next steps with regards to the winners, but we have one more award to give, and that is for the most creative project. So I think I will just go straight on and introduce this project, and we'll try and do it in the same way as we've done the others, and then we'll talk a little bit about why we like this. So the project is called Shoveler, and they also have a video which I will try and bring up now. So let me. Oh, hang on a minute. We're in the wrong place. What's going on? This one. So let's close that window. Open up this project here, and here we go. I can't remember if this has audio or not. We will find out. Maybe it doesn't. There may not be a lot to this one. Yes, so there's not. So this one served by way of sort of an overview of the code and the way the project works. So I will just, narrate this a little bit. So yeah, this was a visual accompaniment to the documentation that explained how to actually bring up these containers. And I think Danny, who's here with us in the chat, this was one you actually followed all the way through, and you brought this one up locally, I think. Is that right, Danny? If you can let us know in the chat. So yes, I'll just skip through the, bringing it all up, but it's using Docker Compose, which is also, one of the reasons we liked this is there was that piece there about bringing up the database. One of the things we liked about this project, aside from the reason why it won the most creative project is the developer behind this project had used this as an opportunity to just use Cassandra for the purposes of learning Cassandra. And we really liked that expression of, just trying something, using a hackathon to try and learn a new skill. So we liked that because there were some of the other projects that we haven't featured today who didn't make like the top 4, where we felt like people were playing it safe, sticking to technologies that they were familiar with, and we really liked this one and what it sought out to do. So what this one's doing now is, now the app is actually up and running, the idea behind the app and why it's called Shoveler, and it's a timely application, is it's intended to connect people who have got a pile of snow outside their house or residence and are unable, for whatever reason, be it accessibility issues, and are unable to shovel that snow out of the way and connect it with people who are prepared to volunteer to come and clear snow from the pathways and walkways of other people's properties. So we liked the novel solution, or the problem domain that was being addressed with this one.
Well, as a Bostonian who used to live right down the street from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., which is the White House for the non-Americans here, D.C. does not do very well with snow. We lived through Snowmageddon there, where we got 4 feet of snow, and this app would have been very popular with people looking to get dug out. I also, I believe, in our chat with Ellen Chisa, shared my MIT Scratch game that was similar in terms of shoveling snow. And so at first I thought this app was going to be making fun of me for that. But so I love the creativity. I think it's really cool. And just, the use of Cassandra, you don't see people that's not a lightweight piece of technology to just pull off the shelf and drop into an app for a hackathon project. So that's very creative in its tech choices. So,
well, I feel like we're also seeing a lot of competitions offer prizes in an accessibility category, and if we had had one, this certainly would have won that. Being a Bostonian, as Peter was, we get lots of snow around here, and especially this could be useful to people with disabilities or the elderly, that need to get around but might not be able to clear out 4 feet of snow.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Obsidian. You are the winner of our creativity prize. So if I just drop back here, we should point out that we have these awards. So the grand prize goes to the Baelix team. Congratulations. We will be in touch through the Devpost platform in order to collect the information we need in order to get your prize to you. And congratulations to Open Payment Host for being the runner-up. Well done, congratulations. And the same applies. We will be in touch to get what we need in order to get your prize to you. And finally, Shoveler from Obsidian, well done, congratulations. Definitely the most creative entry we had. We thoroughly enjoyed that one. There were certainly people in parts of the world that were feeling the need for that particular project right now. And you get our creativity prize, and we'll be in touch. And I think, Pete, Stephen, we're going to be in touch to send some other stuff the way of the winners as well. Is that right?
I think so. Lindsay will update everybody in Discord about prizes and logistics and stuff like that. So if you don't hear from us, let us know in Discord, and we can go from there. So
And I see Abhishek, who is the developer of Open Payment Host, is in the Twitch chat. So congratulations to you, and thank you for your sporting behaviour in congratulating the other projects that also claimed prizes in this event. Congratulations. I hope we see you entering another one of our hackathons in the future. Also, I really want to see Open Payment Host get developed. I think you've got a fantastic project on your hands there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And thank you, Abhishek, for all the great questions and being engaged in the Discord. And yeah, hopefully everybody stays in touch. I'd love to keep working with you all as you have projects and containers. We'll do another hackathon here next year sometime. And yeah, it was really fun, really successful for us. And thanks for participating in the first one we've ever done. So it was a really nice moment.
Yes, thank you all.
Definitely.
And thank you for those of you that stopped by to see the unveiling of the winners and learn a little bit about what it was like to run a hackathon on Devpost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thank you, Stephen, for really, kind of being the operations person behind all of the stuff. Stephen wrote most of the to-dos and all of that. And Martin, thank you for coordinating the panel of judges and doing all the live streams and getting all that together. Thanks, Lindsay, for putting the whole thing together. This was all her brainchild and all of that. So thank you very much. And thanks to all the judges and to Big Pod for jumping on stream with me when we wanted to help out some folks in there. And yeah, it's just been a really great experience and hope everybody enjoyed it. So
Indeed. It has been fun. It was definitely more fun when the judges got to actually see the projects that have been submitted. It all felt very real all of a sudden. That was terrific to be involved in that. So congratulations to everyone who entered.
It was a bit of a Christmas morning the day after the deadline closed and we could open the platform and
really
see all of our gifts. Yeah.
Yeah,
it really
next
was.
year maybe we do more of a holiday themed hackathon.
Yeah. Right then. So thank you all. Join us above my head. If you go to that website, you will find a Discord channel embedded in the community section on that page. Come and join us in Discord if you haven't already, or subscribe to this YouTube. Well, we are live on YouTube and Twitch at the moment.
Yep.
So subscribe to YouTube and Twitch. We'll be resuming our usual series of sort of container enthusiast hacking and fun times and exposing new tips, tricks and technologies regarding language ecosystems and containers. We'll be doing that in the new year because there's a holiday season fast approaching, and so we're going to be taking a little pause whilst we take some time for that. Thanks Stephen and Pete for stopping by today, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a happy year end and happy holidays if you're celebrating. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Bye bye for now. See you soon.
Yeah.